Back here at Melbourne Ballpark as we get set for game number 5 of this 5-game series, and the Aces try and salvage the last of this 5-game set on a New Year's Eve against Adelaide. Michael Dixon, Ed Wyatt will join us momentarily up in the booth. The rest of our Sportscast Australia crew wishing you a happy new year. The Aces hoping that they can get back on track after losing a couple of one-run games in the doubleheader yesterday. 7 innings in Game 1. Adelaide was the home team, strangely enough, and the Giants threw a home run in 5th inning. Won that by a final score of 2-1. So for the Aces, looking for a bounce back, and they had opportunities in game number 2. Fell behind 2-0 early, but Lewis Thorpe did an outstanding job after giving up 2 runs in that first inning. He finds a way to get through 6 innings. The Aces get 1 in the first. They get 1 in the fourth. It's anybody's game, 2-2. Entering the 9th inning, the Aces had a chance. Couldn't cash in that 9th inning. We go to extras. Evan Rutsky did a great job to limit Adelaide just to 1 run. The Aces trailing 3-2, entering the bottom of the 10th inning. You get a runner on first and second. They bunt him over. Second and third, 1 out, back-to-back strikeouts for Zion Bannister and Aaron Whitefield. And unfortunately, the Aces lose their first extra innings game of the year. But the good news, you got Game 5 and an ex-major leaguer, or shall I say a big leaguer going for the Aces. Randy Wynn made his major league debut this past June. He's making his Aces debut this afternoon in Altona. It should be a lot of fun. Myself, Ed Wyatt, will be with you momentarily. The rest of our awesome crew as we get set for this New Year's Eve matchup, Game 5 of this 5-game series. The Aces and the Adelaide Giants, and it's right here on Aces TV. Melbourne Ballpark, we get set for the last of this 5-game series. It's the Melbourne Aces and the Adelaide Giants right here on Aces TV. Michael Dixon alongside Ed Wyatt on a beautiful New Year's Eve from Melbourne Ballpark in Altona. Ed, welcome to the broadcast. We didn't have you on the pregame segment, and I felt a little lonely on the screen, but it's nice to have you here in the booth, and Happy New Year's Eve to you.
Same to you. It's a beautiful day, as you mentioned. I don't think we're going to have to worry too much about any rain, any wind, any inclement weather, because it is a magnificent day here in Melbourne. 1 p.m. start, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And look, the Aces need a win. Normally these Sunday games, you're kind of like, oh, it's getaway day. You know, you kind of
obviously with runners at second and third, 1 out in the bottom of the 10th, but unfortunately just couldn't come through with that big hit. And if you're looking for one thing for this team to improve on, one area, it's winning a few more of those close games.
Yeah, absolutely right. You mentioned that yesterday. Ace is not very good in the one-run games or games that are close late, and that's something we really need to get going here. Particularly important as we get closer to the end of the season, where we know these top 4 teams, Adelaide, the Aces, Brisbane, and Perth, are going to be very, very competitive. It's going to be very tight going into the end. So I think that's really important. The bats are going well. The pitching looks good. The fielding for the most part is good, but it is just those little things, the things we talked about. Those little errors, getting caught stealing, ball taking a strange bounce. We saw that twice yesterday that went against the Aces. So, you know, the little 1%ers, the incidentals are the things that really are something important here.
Well, the Aces take the field, and we'll meet the starting lineup for Melbourne as they run out. Zion Bannister, the DH, leading things off. Aaron Whitefield, the center fielder, batting second. Robbie Glendening at shortstop, batting third. Greg Bird, the first baseman, cleaning up. Darryl George, the third baseman, batting fifth. Jimmy Kerrigan, the right fielder, batting sixth. Jared Dale, the second baseman, batting seventh. Chris Burke, the left fielder, batting eighth. And Mitch Edwards. For the Aces, when they needed to win this year, it feels like they've really delivered.
Certainly does, and you look at that lineup, You look at, in particular, Glendenning and Edwards in terms of the ability to get on base. Glendenning 6 for 16 in the series. Mitch Edwards 5 for 9 with a home run. He's been tremendous. And Jared Dale as well, as we mentioned, one of the hottest hitters in the ABL. He's got 5 hits in 13 at-bats here in this series. So the bats are singing a bit. Greg Bird with a home run, Edwards with a home run. Just about putting things.
Well, back here at Melbourne Ballpark as we get set for Game 5 of this 5-game series, and the Aces try and salvage the last. To affiliated minor league baseball and ultimately making his major league debut this past June. The right-hander from San Diego, California, a product of Missouri Baptist University. And we knew he was going to come eventually. It was going to be in the second half of the season. And Ed, it's so nice to see Randy Wynn here, and an already good pitching staff got that much better with the addition of this righty.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes that Sunday's a cobble together pitching staff, guys out of the bullpen, people that don't necessarily start. Now we've got a legitimate starter here going in this Sunday afternoon game. It is really, really special.
Well, he's a strike thrower. 0-1 pitch, and it's outside. Liam Spence, the shortstop, leading things off. So a change at the top, and perhaps with 3 wins already in their pocket, the Giants comfortable giving a couple of big names a day off. No Quincy Lattimore, no Nick Ward, of course, available to hit.
It's almost like Chris Adamson just to put names in a hat and pull them out. He's got Kirion at first.
Lineup.
He was a catcher. Spence has played outfield and shortstop. Altman's now at third.
Here's the 1-2. Spoiled foul by Liam Spence. Spence, the shortstop, leads off. Altman at third, right behind Hemricks and Wingrove. And the DH is batting third. Kendall Simmons, the second baseman, cleaning up. Jordan McCardle, the right fielder, batting fifth. Anthony Kirion at first, bats sixth. Andrick Nava catching, hitting seventh. Riley Knight is the left fielder, batting eighth down. Cade Fergus, the center fielder, hitting ninth. Good crowd on this Sunday afternoon.
Very good crowd.
Big crowds all weekend. And I'm sure these folks are just getting started on their New Year's Eve, bringing in 2024 across Victoria and all of Australia. Here in just a little under, 11 hours?
Not that you're counting.
Nope. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Randy Wynn starts his Aces career with a strikeout. And there's one out here in the top of the first inning. That'll bring up Josh Altman, who's had a hit in this series, couple against the Aces in the season set, but for the most part, a tough hitter the Aces have kept in check.
Yeah, just 1 for 8 in this series, but as we talked about yesterday, been superb in the field.
Yeah, both teams have had really, really stellar defensive play.
Particularly that left side, as you talked about, Michael, that third base and shortstop, just been phenomenal. Not to discount second, to be honest. There was some great plays out there as well.
Here's the 0-1. And call the strike. 49 and 42 is Randy Wentz, so a chance to pick up his 50th career victory today. This is appearance number 160, start number 104. 30 years of age from San Diego, California. And he sits down Josh Altman, back-to-back Ks for Randy Wentz. He throws a lot of strikes, though he's not a high strikeout guy. Doesn't walk many. Pitches to contact, but a good start for the right-hander. And that'll bring up Rickson Wingrove. So we had the dust up in the first inning yesterday, and Rickson Wingrove was one of the igniting parties. Skies this out towards left field, and Burke in that afternoon sun makes the catch. And it was an issue that the Adelaide dugout took with perhaps Edwards blocking the plate on the throw home, and so that's how that dust up unfolded. So figured we'd get the full story. We did. Not really anything special, but regardless, that is at least the final chapter of what we saw yesterday. We'll wait and see if anything happens here in game number 5. We'll keep it right here as we work through some technical issues on the streaming side of things. And for the Adelaide Giants, it's right-hander Drew Jansen, who actually, believe it or not, at 24 years of age, born in Belgium.
Right.
So he's a Belgian native. He's pitched at Frontier Community College in the United States. He's also pitched at Gardner-Webb University in Boiling Springs, North Carolina. And the right-hander Jansen on the mound for the Adelaide Giants. No record this year with a 3 ERA. And again, the Melbourne DHing leads off. Aaron Whitefield, the center fielder, batting second. Robbie Glendenning, the shortstop, hitting third. Greg Bird at first, cleaning up. Darryl George, the third baseman, bats fifth. Jimmy Kerrigan in right, batting sixth. Jared Dale, the second baseman, batting seventh. Chris Burke, the left fielder, hitting eighth. And Mitch Edwards, the catcher, batting ninth. For the most part, Ed, outside of that 8-3 win for Melbourne on Friday night, the pitching staffs have delivered in a big way in this series.
Absolutely right. Been very impressed with the pitching. The relievers coming in, getting the job done. It's been a well-played series for the most part. Obviously, you've had a few slips here and there, but a very, very competitive series between two very good baseball teams.
So Drew Jansen, the right-hander. There's a look at Simmons playing second base here in Game 5. The Cyclone tool shed down the right field line. It's a great place to be out in the sun.
Beautiful today. I was down there pregame, walking around, as I like to do, shaking some hands, kissing some babies, meeting the folks.
Is that what you do pregame? That's why
I do. I walk around. I take the temperature. I talk to the, the hot dog folks and the barbecue folks out there in the truck, and just sort of see how everyone's feeling.
That's why
get the vibe.
You get up here at 12:45 for the 12:50 show.
Yeah,
I do too, but I'm over there firing off stats and working hard.
That's the benefits of being around for a long time, Michael.
Yep. You're the star of the show.
Wow, I wouldn't say that. Here we go.
It's nice to have, you have so much random information that I don't think anybody else would have, as Bannister spoils this one foul to start against Jansen. You bring up something related to the KBO, and you've got some interesting fact about a long-standing KBO tradition or something like that. We talk about gorillas in Tacoma, Washington.
The B&I gorilla, Ivan.
Here's the 0-1. Swinging at a foul tip from Zion. Well, Bannister, the DH, so he gets a day off from the field, but he's had a fair share of nice defensive plays as well out in right field. First 4 games of this series.
4 for 15 in the series.
241 hitter altogether, but a 317 hitter from the leadoff spot. Takes high from Jansen, ball 1.
It's always an adjustment calling these Sunday games, isn't it? Because it's so bright. We're
Yeah.
used to being out here sort of at night. The evening starts. So bright on a beautiful Sunday.
Aaron Whitefield looming on deck.
Good pitch.
Yeah, and a pretty breaking ball for strike number 3. So Jansen with a strikeout, and that'll bring up Aaron Whitefield. Well, he starts his outing just like Randy Wynn did his with a strikeout. Randy Wynn goes 3 up, 3 down in the first. Jansen retires Bannister to begin things in the bottom of the first. Here's Aaron Whitefield. 1 for 5 yesterday, 3 for 16 in the series. Swing and a miss, strike 1 from the right hand of Jansen. Next offering home misses just a little bit high. Whitefield has had a tough series in terms of trying to come up with that big hit. He had a bases-loaded strikeout in Game 1, a bases-loaded strikeout in Game 3, and then struck out with 2 in scoring position in the 10th inning last night. Long run over for McCardle.
We're taking odds that McCardle would actually get to that ball.
He is not
About
the
10
quickest
to 1.
right fielder.
Good hitter. Good baseball player, but yeah, not fleet of foot.
Well, Whitefield in a 1-2 hole here. And Jansen deals home. That's slung low and outside. It's also an adjustment, too, because these games happen so quickly. They just you get to the ballpark and everything happens so quickly. Everybody's in a rush. Next thing you know, you're on the air. Here's a ground ball to third. First test for Josh Altman, and passes that with ease. 2 down. And the bottom of the first inning, but Sundays happen at hyper speed, I feel like.
Well, yeah, for people listening, we had a game last night. Admittedly went long. Second game with a doubleheader and extra innings. Got out of here about 11, so you get home around 12 or 1 or whatever. Wind down a little bit, and then you're right back here. You're right, in the morning, ready for a 1 p.m. First pitch rather than a night first pitch. That is a wicked breaking ball that Jansen has.
Yeah, we'll see how long Jansen goes in this game. He's only thrown 3 innings coming in, giving up 1 unearned run, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts in 2 appearances for the young Belgian righty.
Is that the first time you've ever uttered that phrase?
I think so. Is it pronounced Antwerp?
Antwerp.
Yeah. That's where he was born. October 27th of 1999. 2 balls, 1 strike. The count here, 2 outs. And Jansen trying to match the 1-2-3 first inning from Randy Wynn. Well, Gardner-Webb University, where Jansen pitched collegiately, actually has produced a handful of big leaguers over the years. 2-1. This tie, 3 balls and a strike. Perhaps most notably Emilio Pagan. 369 career big league appearances. And Robbie Glendening, who hadn't walked in 4 games. He'd been hitting the ball well, but he had not added to that league-leading walk total. It's now 22 with his first walk this series. And here is Greg Bird, who leads the league with 7 home runs, 29 RBIs. He has just been a joy to watch this year.
There is our Vibrant Services weather. 18 degrees, 57% humidity, light wind, no chance of rain.
This is lined sharply to left field. That's down for a hit. Knight cuts it off. Throw comes into third. Glendening slides, tagged down, and Glendening is safe. Greg Burr with a long single, but they're on the corners with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning and a chance now for Darryl George.
Pretty well played out there by Briley Knight.
It really was, to cut that off.
Yeah.
And they gave themselves a chance to get Glendening, who moves pretty well at third. Very close play.
Much closer than you would have suspected.
Yeah, and that was a closer play from that angle than it looked like in real time.
Agreed.
But Bird with a single. Got his 5th hit of the series. And Darryl George takes high for ball 1. George 5 homers this year, 37 in his Aces career. 3 more and he'll be the all-time home run king for this franchise. Here's the 1-0. Good breaking ball. We're seeing a steady dose of those breaking balls from Jansen.
Speaking of steady dose of people rolling into the ballpark. Crowd building.
Here's the 1-1. Flared straightaway center. And Fergus makes the catch. The inning is over. A 2-out rally, but nothing comes from it. No runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 2 left on base through 1 complete. No score from Melbourne Ballpark.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Well, back here on a sunny Sunday at Melbourne Ballpark, and Aces Baseball is always powered by Business Network International. B&I International is flourishing across Melbourne's West and Geelong. Local businesses, including the Aces, join B&I for professional development, networking opportunities, and increased business prospects. Find your local B&I chapter to tap a wealth of resources and join a winning team. We go to the 2nd inning, and Randy Wynn back out after a 3-up, 3-down first. Couple of strikeouts. There's a wave from one of the kids in the crowd, and a good Sunday crowd. Ed, there's a tree out in the parking lot, and this gives you an idea of just how much this franchise has grown over the years. But on Sunday games, the gauge as to whether or not they delivered with the expected crowd is if the line of cars reached the gum tree.
Yes.
That is no longer a good metric because each Sunday the cars blow past that gum tree. And we got a text from Justin Huber, GM of the Aces, that the gum tree has been annihilated today on New Year's Eve. First pitch, strike number 1 to the knees to Kendall Simmons from Randy Wynn. So
it hasn't been cut down.
No.
Okay. When you say annihilated, I picture a lumberjack with a chainsaw. Okay. Good.
Here's the 0-1. And it is low from Wynn.
That's great news.
It is great news, of course, and people file in. So Randy Wynn, what a story. Pitched at a small college, Missouri Baptist University, native of San Diego, California. And so he finds his way to the Midwest and then goes undrafted. In fact, he actually pitched club ball at a lower level in Australia back in 2016. That was how he tried to get his career going. And Randy Wynn, there's a ground ball to third. Very smooth from Darryl George. Throw to first. Nice stretch from Greg Bird. And the stellar defense continues from the left side of the infield. Darryl George making it look easy. 1 away here in the 2nd inning.
Beautiful play from Darryl. We'll see that again on the replay. He's just been doing this all season. Slides. Throw a little high, but great stretch from Bird to make the play.
So here is Jordan McCardle. Wynn ends up beginning his career in a league called the USPBL. It's the United Shore Professional Baseball League. It's a 4-team independent baseball league in suburban Detroit. All of the games are played at the same stadium. So it's almost like a complex independent league. It's called Jimmy John's Field there in suburban Detroit. And it truly is the lowest of the low on the ladder of professional baseball in the U.S. And so Randy Wen goes to the USPBL to try and get his professional career going, and he's there for 2 years. Birmingham Bloomfield, the team he pitched for in 2016 and 2017. But fast forward, he does get a chance in the Frontier League, which is much higher up the totem pole. It's still an independent league, but he signs with Evansville in the Frontier League. And this pitch low to McCardle, now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And he pitches 2 years for Evansville. Goes 9-9 with a 3.55 ERA in 2018. And in 2019, 5-2 with a 3.42 ERA. And clearly, the Cincinnati Reds had their eye on him because not long after he got off to a good start in 2019, they signed him to a minor league contract. So then he pitches affiliated baseball at the low levels of the Reds organization, rookie ball, and single A in 2019. Survives the COVID-19 pandemic with all the restructuring where a lot of guys got released. Here's the payoff pitch. Fouled off by McCardle. And a lot of guys didn't know if they'd have jobs coming back to play in 2021. Well, Randy Wen did. Gets promoted, spends the entire year in Double-A, and then the entire year in Triple-A in 2022. 2023, most of the time spent with Louisville and the Reds organization, the Triple-A affiliate. But finally, June 25th, 2023, one of the most unlikely debuts in MLB history. Randy Wen pitches on a big league mound for the Cincinnati Reds, and what a story. He's out to a good start here in his Aces debut. 5 up, 5 down, and it's a joy to have him here in Melbourne.
Absolutely. What a story. And you do see and hear a fair number of those in baseball, but certainly nothing like that, going from the low to the high. As we watch McCardle head back to the dugout after a long fly ball to Aaron Whitefield. So 2 down. You're up, 5 down for Win.
John Diebel said yesterday somewhere around 60 pitches, but the expectation for Wynn, of course, was that joining round 7, second half of the year with not many games left before the playoffs, he'd be ready to get going pretty quickly. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here to Curio with no score in the top of the second. Michael Dixon, Ed Wyatt, the rest of our Sportscast Australia crew coming to you live on New Year's Eve from Melbourne Ballpark. And a high drive out to left field. Burke, I don't think saw it initially. To his left, he'll make the catch. That is a tough play for Burke, dealing the brutal sunshine. But 6 batters faced and 6 batters retired by Randy Wen. We go to the bottom of the second with no score from MVP.
Welcome back. Melbourne Aces Baseball brought to you by Dasher and Fisher, beginning in 2017 with a vision to specialize in gins that speak of place and express Tasmania's remoteness and untouched beauty. Taste the rich, fertile soils and pure Cradle Mountain snowmelt in every drop of Dasher and Fisher Tasmanian gin. As my partner here in the booth, Michael Dixon, says, there will be a fair bit of Dasher and Fisher consumed tonight at parties around Melbourne, I would suspect. Little touch of tonic, perhaps, with that Tasmanian gin. Look at a couple of people in the crowd.
No comment.
Enjoying it.
Not a huge gin guy myself, but
A little gin and tonic on a Saturday afternoon, Sunday
those
afternoon.
sparkling Dasher and Fisher drinks that they have, though, are really good. First pitch, strike one with the inside corner to Jimmy Kerrigan leading things off. Kerrigan
looking for a hit.
Yeah, trying to break through. You know it's coming. He's hit the ball hard. And did pick up an RBI with a stolen base in yesterday's doubleheader. So he has been productive in other ways, but of course all ball players are trying to get off the schneid and pick up that first hit, especially in a new uniform. When everybody's been here for half the year and Jimmy Kerrigan shows up in round 7. 0-2.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure too, isn't it, right? Because he's especially brought in to replace some guys who've been here playing well. So there's that pressure to immediately replace, Sugisawa or whoever it would be. So very difficult. A lot of pressure.
Here's the 0-2. Popped it up. Yeah, this will get out of play. Kerrigan, Dale, Burke, the scheduled 3 coming through. No score we play here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. It's kind of a lonely shot of that fella up on the party deck. It is a little bit more space on the party deck. They're still having a good time, though, as
Sunday's
everybody gets
a little more chilled on the party deck.
Yeah. The last 3 nights have been
packed.
Quite wild. Almost too wild, I've heard. All bounding in.
I think you may have heard the same story I heard.
Well, if you go to the ballpark and you're not getting shut down, are you doing it right? Here's the 1-2 pitch. Just a little bit low with a fastball from Jansen, who struck out Bannister and then retired Whitefield to start the first inning. Then Glendenning walked, Bird singled. George flied out, and Jansen got through that inning unscathed. Now the 2-2. A little bit low to Jimmy Kerrigan.
Good eye from Kerrigan on those last 2 pitches. Be tempted to swing at those with 2 strikes. But he's worked it to a full count here.
And there it is. That's what we were waiting for.
Hey.
First ace is hit for Jimmy Kerrigan. And a missile right back up the middle. 1 on, nobody out. Here comes Jared Dale. You'd love to see that.
You just see the weight coming off his shoulders.
And a peek for the guys down the first base line. Yeah, finally.
Yeah, exactly.
I told you guys I could hit. This takes some time. Here's Jared Dale. Tries a bunt, and we've seen some good ones in this series, but Jared Dale trying to bunt himself aboard there. Pops it foul.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the over-under would be set for number of bunts in this series, but I think it's over. I think it's gone over.
We have soared past the over.
Seen a lot of bunts, 2 or 3 really good ones. I'd say 3, 4 maybe, if you include Khalil's and Wingrove's from yesterday.
Well, Kerrigan back in safely. Yeah, we've seen some bunts in this series that would rival some of the bunting derby champions.
Oh, beautiful.
In Japan. Dale hits this foul. He is scorching hot right now. Jared Dale, 3 consecutive multi-hit games. In this series, he's 6 for 15 over his current 3-game hitting streak, 6 for 11. And yeah, some of those are infield hits, but still, you put the ball in play, and Jared Dale is taking what's been given to him. His average up to 344, which again, he's still under that qualification threshold. But if he could qualify, he'd be among the league leaders. Here's a chopper to short. And only 1 play for Spence. They get Dale by half step at first. And Kerrigan safe at second. Here comes Chris Burke.
Yeah, the bunting that we talked about is just part of everything we've seen in this series. We've just seen some very quirky plays, as we mentioned earlier, bounces of the ball, great defensive work, poor defensive work, balls hitting off the top of the fence and going over for a home run. There's just been some really strange plays in this very well-played series.
First pitch. A pop foul by Burke, out of play.
Didn't it make sense? I just rambled about all the things that happened and said this well-played series. I think so.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's been very...
It always makes sense to me.
Well, I don't know about that. It's been very, very well played at a high level, but there have just been some unique things happening that just very, very... You don't see every day. That's all.
And I think the best way to put it is just two really good teams going head-to-head.
Definitely.
They played some really good games.
Yeah.
And I think nobody would complain if these teams found themselves opposite one another in the playoffs for another series. I think that would be a lot of fun. Do we get to do those games, or is that a...
playoffs. If they're here, I think we will do them.
Nice. Here's a 1-1. That's outside. Wasn't sure if they brought Matt Baskerson and others in for the ABL playoffs and the
Joe Buck's coming in.
Yeah. Two-one. Missed outside. Jansen's nibbling around the strike zone, but he's not getting many calls from Kenichi Omeki, who's behind the plate for the second time in this series. It's an unusual thing to say about an umpire, but you also don't play many 5-game sets.
True.
So we have gone around the rotation one complete time. And a walk from Jansen to Burke. 2-on-1 out for Mitch Edwards.
Second walk of the night, given up by Jansen.
Well, let's see what Edwards can do. He's had himself a great series, 5 for 9, and a double, a homer, 3 RBIs. 3-game hitting streak, second time he's done that. And pitch clearly missed.
Definitely. Low and away.
Jansen knew it. Second consecutive inning for the Aces with multiple runners on base. 2-out walk from Glendening and a single from Bird and a first, but they were stranded on the corners, and leadoff single from Kerrigan, a 1-out walk from Burke. 2-on-1 out here for Mitch Edwards. Jansen seems to be fighting it just a little bit here. Tried to get the backdoor call and could not from Kenichi Omeka. Kingo Iwashita, the first base umpire. Jeffrey Dunn at second, and Casey Cook is at third. Here's the 1-1. And a breaking ball fouled off by Edwards.
Cameron Wynn up and stretching in the bullpen. Not throwing, but using one of those rubber stretching bands. So getting loose, as you suspected, probably Jansen not going to go too many more.
We didn't talk to Chris Adamson before the game, but I would imagine they'd be thrilled if they could get 3 out of him.
Yeah, I agree.
It's stroked out to left field, but playable for Knight, 2 down. And right now, in all likelihood, he probably goes 2, but again, we'll have to wait and see. Here comes Ion Bannister, though, 2 out and 2 out. They don't look troubled whatsoever in the Melbourne bullpen. And,
no.
They're just hanging out.
Let's show that to Randy Wynn. That's what they're thinking, Randy.
Guy who pitched in the big leagues in June, 6 up, 6 down.
So we're not going to worry about
it. We're going to enjoy our time in the sunshine for a while. Bannister 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He struck out looking to begin the first inning. Zion from the leadoff spot, a .317 hitter with an .823 OPS. Leadoff single from Kerrigan. 1-out walk from Burke. Those are the base runners for the Aces here in this second inning. Stranded a couple in the first, trying to avoid doing that here in the second. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fouled off. Gonna count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. This is a pretty good way to spend your New Year's Eve afternoon.
Yeah, because it's early, right? We've often had the New Year's Eve game at night, which is great with the fireworks, but then you've got to get home and everyone else is already celebrating or on their way to celebrating. Now we got plenty of time. See the Aces win, go home, get ready, have a good night. Call your friends back in the States and say, hey, 2024 is here, it's okay, everything's going to be fine.
Kind of rub it in their face that we get it first.
Yeah, absolutely.
2-1.
I will say, I was here for the millennium, and it was very interesting.
I was going to ask you,
friends were actually calling me and saying, "Is everything okay?"
It's
Did
so
the computers
funny you brought
keep going?
that up. I thought that in my head. I thought about Y2K when you mentioned exactly that, but I didn't want to sound like a total fool in asking.
Not at all. People were actually texting me and emailing me.
The bases are loaded now for Aaron Whitefield. Yeah, that's so funny you brought that up. There comes a visit out of the third base dugout. Chance for Whitey. 0 for 1 in the game, but 3 on, 2 out.
He's in that situation again, isn't he, Whitefield?
Going to come through eventually. This would be a great time to do it. Trying to jump on the board first. You've gotten a great start from Randy Wen, 6 up, 6 down.
I believe that's Josh Tolles, the pitching coach, who pitched here for a while and with the Phillies organization. Had one of the nastiest curves you have ever seen in your life. Just this spinning, rotating curveball.
Sounds like
drag race.
Is that what that is? I wonder if you can hear it on the broadcast or on the broadcast. That's what it sounds like.
It sounds like
very distracting.
It sounds like a Formula One car back in the.
Well, 2 outs, space is full. Here's the pitch. Grounded foul by Whitefield.
Maybe Oscar Piastri's dropped in to watch a game, or Daniel Ricciardo.
Oh, well, there's some smoke rising from
there it is.
The road down
right field.
So there's our answer.
Totally legal, of course.
Max Verstappen just drove by celebrating New Year's. 0-2 here to Whitefield. I did not think at one point in my career, I'm still only 28, so a lot of days to come, but I did not think that I'd be calling a baseball game on New Year's Eve.
In Australia.
And here we are. Here's the 0-2. And Whitefield with a good eye lays off. Base is full here for the Aces. This would be a great moment to break through.
Huge.
Yeah, the pitch. In the dirt. Good block there by Nava. Kerrigan at third, Burke at second, and Bannister at first. We did not see a home run from the Aces in the doubleheader yesterday. That's been commonplace for Melbourne lately. League leader with 27 home runs. Another good look at that play from Nava.
It's been impressive, Nava, at bat and behind the plate.
Wynn is warming for the Giants down the left field line. And the 2-2. Foul tip, just got a piece.
Staying alive. Two's across the board. 2 is the batter, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
And a ground ball left side that gets through. Kerrigan scores. Another coming home and the throw to the plate in time. Burke is out. RBI single for Aaron Whitefield. And the Aces cash in with 2-out RBI hit to take the game's first lead, 1-0 after 2. So the Aces playing from in front. That's been a place of success for them this year. We go up to the third. Melbourne up by a run.
Light and Easy have been named Best Healthy Meal Delivery Service again, but you won't find us stopping to celebrate. We're busy making it easy for Aussies to achieve their well-being goals, and the results speak for themselves. Light and Easy, just good food and great results.
Aussie gardeners are best served by Aussie tools, built specifically for our unique environment and conditions. Back in the 1890s, Leonard Chambers and William Thompson started a beekeeping supply business in Melbourne. Little would they know that their company would go on to change how Australians garden for well over a century. Cyclone is ingrained into our country's history and our way of life. Our tools are long-lasting and purpose-built for hard work.
We've been making quality tools for over a century.
They last that long, you can hand them down to the next generation. Good, quality, honest product that the Australian people have grown to love.
It's not an Aussie shed without a cyclone.
My biggest takeaway of being here for 34 years is just a sense of pride in the product.
Australians buy good products. So if they keep on buying, we keep on making, so we're here.
Cyclone tools, made for Australians.
Aaron Whitefield delivers with a 2-out RBI single. Chris Burke thrown out at the plate, but Melbourne comes through. He's just looking for a run in that situation. Trying to jump on the board. And that's exactly what the Aces do. So Whitefield comes through, and we go now to the third. Really quickly, a chance to remind you, for the first time in 6 years, Team Australia playing right here in Melbourne. Don't miss your chance to catch the country's biggest stars in a 2-game exhibition series against the KBO's Hanwha Eagles right here at Melbourne Ballpark. For more information, visit melbourneaces.com.au. That'll be a lot of fun. Myself
It'll be huge.
and Ed will be here.
I'm excited for that.
6 up, 6 down for Randy Wen to start, and he delivers low ball 1 to begin the third, pitching with a lead.
Just quietly, Briley Knight showing some good arm.
Yeah, it was a
left
great
field.
throw.
That was a great throw. And he had the earlier one that almost got Glendinning.
Well, Ed, I've got a message to pass along from Walter Altman, who is Josh Altman's dad. Very close friend of the broadcast for a couple of years in Lincoln. And he says, Happy New Year. Even though they're in Florida, and it's still December 30th. Happy New Year to you and the entire family, Walt. Rio pitch home and called a strike at the knees. It was very weird for me when Renee Altman texted yesterday asking what's the best way to get around, what stations do we get off of to see all the things we need to see in Melbourne. It made me feel like a local.
Yeah,
I've been
the
here for a
expert
couple
now.
of months.
That's right.
I said Southern Cross and Flinders are probably the two best to get into the CBD, but I said if you're going to choose one, I would go with Flinders.
Yeah, definitely.
Right there
Good
in
call.
the heart.
Good call. You can go anywhere from there.
Payoff pitch. And a called strike 3.
Wow.
7 consecutive retired by Randy Wen to start his Aces career. And his third strikeout. Struck out first 2 batters he faced. Here comes Briley Knight, left fielder, batting 8th. And with a great throw out there in left field to get Chris Burke at the plate to end the second. Whitefield came through with the RBI single. And the Aces have a 1-0 lead.
Wonder who's going to hand out the lolly snakes at first base when he was coaching first yesterday.
Okay,
handing
so
out the snakes. I'm not sure.
Is a lolly like a candy?
Lolly's
Candy.
Yeah. Like candy. And those snakes are sort of candy, rubbery snakes for those people not from Australia.
It's like a
Listening
gummy
to
worm.
this.
Yeah, gummy
A
worm.
little bit.
Kinda.
It doesn't have the sourness to it, but yeah. Well, not gummy. No, it's a little bit. Yeah. Hard to explain. They're very big over here.
I didn't realize that lollies was just another word for candy until you said that. I've heard lolly, but I kept thinking lollipop.
I rarely use that word.
Here's Darryl George at third. Has to throw quickly and does. 2 outs. So, what a start for Randy Wen.
Indeed.
8 up and 8 down. And That time, even though Darryl George on an island over there at third, fairly simple for him in the end. And here is Cade Fergus. First pitch fastball high from Wynn. Wynn's debut as a Cincinnati Red came June 25th. There's a fly ball out to right. Kerrigan tracking, still going. Look at the Wynn carry that. My goodness.
Yep.
It should have been out number 3, but.
Well, you can see the flags out there in right field, particularly that American flag, just blowing in the breeze. Pretty strong wind.
2 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, no strikeouts against the Atlanta Braves on June 25th, 2023. And doing my research, Ed, Missouri Baptist University has actually produced 2 undrafted players to make it to Major League Baseball, Wynn being one of those.
Wow.
And Josh Fuentes, who played at Missouri Baptist University and graduated in 2014. He also undrafted, went from MBU to the big leagues.
It's a baseball factory.
And here's Chris Burke in left. And for the 3rd consecutive inning, Berkey out there in left has caught the final out. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. And what a start for Randy Wynn. 9 up and 9 down. 1-0 Melbourne on top.
All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Well, a sunny Sunday, New Year's Eve, here at Melbourne Ballpark in Altona, just off the Werribee train line between Newport and Laverton. Some adult beverages, some non-adult beverages. Coke Zero there in the crowd. And now we've got a pitching matchup with 2 guys with the same last name, with Cam Wynn taking over for the young Belgian righty Jansen. And Wynn is out to face Glendenning, Bird, and George here in the bottom of the 3rd inning with Melbourne on top 1-0. Second time we've seen Cam Wynn.
We have. Can I say it's a win-win situation?
It is, yeah, of course. That is low-hanging fruit throw.
Yeah, I know.
I think maybe in your head you were like, man, this is going to be super clever, but half the viewers had probably thought, win-win.
Wow, gotta say it.
I just got to keep you a little humble, Ed, you know?
Say it.
You're doing a great job, might I add. First pitch outside to Glendenning. He was due up after the single from Whitefield. Didn't get a chance to see him hit, but Chris Burke was thrown out trying to score on that play. Great throw from the left fielder, Riley Knight. And now it's high, 2 balls, no strikes to Robbie. It has been a struggle for Cam Wynn, the Phillies product. Lincoln, Nebraska native, pitched collegiately at the University of Nebraska.
Aces with the early lead here, important, but more important to build on it. Because you know Adelaide can come back.
Glendenning's already walked once and had 3-0. We took that all the way.
Did.
Win this season, 10 appearances, 8 runs allowed in 11 1/3 innings. And back in the count, 3-2. A walk for Glendenning in the first inning, his league best 22nd, but his first of the series. A lot more contact from Robbie here in this series against Adelaide. There's walk number 2.
There we go.
And Robbie Glendenning has walked now for the 23rd time this year. Nobody else really particularly close, even though Glendenning hadn't walked in a few games. He still entered play today with 3 more walks than the second closest hitter, Milo Rushford. Good-looking player in Brisbane. Here's Greg Bird. Swing and a miss from Greg. He had a sharp single down the left field line in the first inning. Bradley Knight made a really good play to cut it off, to keep it from getting to the base of the wall. And they very nearly caught Glendenning trying to go first to third. And that with 2 outs too, and Glendenning moving on contact. I don't know if it saved a run necessarily, but it definitely kept Greg Bird from a double. I feel like we've had a lot of plays like that too in this series. Really good defensive plays that don't necessarily show up on a highlight reel or a box score.
Oof, good pitch. Fooled Bird on that one. Yeah, I agree with that. There have been a number of those.
Overshift on against Greg. 3 on the right side of the infield. He swings and misses. Big strikeout for Cam Wynn. So 1 away following the Glendenning walk, and here comes Darryl George. Line for Jansen, 2 innings. And he gave up 3 hits with the 1 run. Walked 3, struck out 1. Just really never had much, it felt like, today. Of course, always tough on a bullpen day. First pitch, strike 1 to DG. Nothing in 1 to count.
Yeah, that's what when I was talking earlier about having Wynn available, Randy Wynn available, just really elevates that.
Poked over to second base, flipped the second, and on to first. 4-6-3 up play. Ends the third. We're off to the 4th and to the middle innings. That means Ed Wyatt takes over here on Aces TV.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
At U Blinds Australia, it's our great low prices that make the difference. In our end of summer Aloha clearance sale, save from 30% up to 50% off our range of blinds, shutters and awnings. U Blinds Australia, more value for you.
Welcome back to Melbourne Ballpark. Cyclone tool shed down the left field line here at the park on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, New Year's Eve day. Aces lead the Adelaide Giants 1-0 as we head to the top of the 4th inning. That is Randy Wynn, and he has been nothing short of spectacular. 3 innings pitched, hasn't given up a hit, 3 strikeouts, 3 up, 3 down in each of the 3 innings he has pitched. So we're right back to the top of the Adelaide Giants order. Liam Spence, Josh Altman, and Rickson Wingrove. My name is Ed Wyatt. Alongside me, Michael Dixon. Thank you for joining us, wherever you're watching and or listening. A little nicer for people in the States with a 1 p.m. start here in Melbourne. That's 5 hours behind the U.S. Pacific time. 8 on the East Coast of the U.S. Spence struck out his first time up. Count is 1-1. That's lined into left center field. That's going to get down for a hit. Over goes Whitefield. Makes a great play. But not in time, and Spence is in with a double. Not sure he needed to slide, but he wasn't taking any chances. First hit given up by Wynn.
It is a really good play by Whitefield out there in left center field to keep it from getting to the wall. If that splits the outfielders and gets to the wall with Spence's speed, that could have been a triple, perhaps. Now, throw comes in. You mentioned, I don't know if the slide was necessary. I don't think that's putting it kindly. But sometimes the guys just like to do that, right? They like to get down at 30.
Here's Josh Altman now. He too struck out in the first inning. He's going to lay down a bunt. Goes foul. So 1-0 game. Adelaide thinking about pushing Spence over to third. A little bit of that small ball as we've seen a fair bit in this series, despite the fact that both teams have a lot of power. Oh, 1 pitch, Win to Altman. Swing and a miss, fooled him. Off-speed pitch, 2 quick strikes on the third baseman. I guess you could call him a utility, playing third, short. I'm guessing he could play second.
Yes.
Probably could play anywhere. 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses high. Ball 1-1-2.
I believe Josh played a little bit of first base, too, every once in a while in Lincoln. When the Salt Dogs had some injury troubles.
Just looks like one of those guys that can pretty much play anywhere.
Very slick defensive player, as you've seen.
Yep. That's ripped to George. Scoops it cleanly. Throws to first. Another nice play by Darryl George.
Yeah, that is nice. Didn't seem like the friendliest bounce. I don't know if it hit something, but instead of bouncing to George, it kind of skipped to him.
Yeah.
And to his left.
He had no problems with it, though. Just ate it up. Here's Rickson Wingrove. Big man DHing today. Flew out to left his first time up. Veteran hitter. He's been good in this series. Block there from Edwards on the low pitch. Kind of central casting baseball player if you're going to make a baseball movie. Get a guy that looks like Rickson Wingrove. Just looks like a ball player.
He really does.
Good pitch.
It's like in Major League, the big burly New York Yankee hitter that they cast. I can't remember who it was, but he just looks like a Yankee. Looks like a ball player in the mid-'80s.
Exactly. John Kruk. There's a 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball outside corner. No, didn't get it. Or did he? Yes, he did. Strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I don't think Wingrove agreed with the decision, but again, as we say, not much you can do about it. Pitches in the dirt, 2-2. Win to Wingrove. Aces up 1-0, top of 4. Left a few men on base, 5 to be exact, through 3 innings. Been an issue. Actually, it was issued for Adelaide a couple of nights ago. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Hit sharply deep to that second base position from Dale and throws out Wingrove again. A couple of meters behind the dirt infield is the way they play Ricks and Wingrove, and it's paid off.
Yeah, think about this, Ed. The Aces got swept in a doubleheader yesterday in which across 17 innings they allowed just 9 hits. So the opportunities have been there. And Adelaide, a patient lineup too. I mean, they walked a lot in game 2 last night.
Talked about that. Yeah, absolutely.
So the walks have been problematic at times as Simmons calls time, but yeah, I mean, just 9 hits allowed in 2 games and couldn't pick up a win in either one. That's tough.
So Spence moved over to third on that grounder, so there is a Adelaide Giant in scoring position as Simmons steps in with 2 outs. He grounded out to Darryl George, his first time up. Looking to even things up here for the Giants. Good pitch. Simmons didn't like the call. Looked like it hit the outside corner. Quick look at a replay. Questionable. I can see why Simmons didn't like that.
Well, it had that run to it back into the, I think, outer part of the strike zone.
Yeah, and framed well by Edwards. Very similar pitch, but a little low, I think. So 2 balls and a strike on Kendall Simmons. 1-0 Aces, top of 4. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Free ice cream on the line here, Michael. If Simmons strikes out. So the crowd instantly excited.
Why wouldn't you be?
Outside corner, no, just missed.
That seemed very close to that pitch that was called a strike earlier in the at-bat.
Yeah. Don't show that to the fans. We're counting on the ice cream for that one. Outside. We'll do it again. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Hit sharply to left field. That's a base hit. That's going to be 2 for Kendall Simmons. And that will score a run and tie this game at 1 apiece. Well hit ball by the second baseman.
Yeah, it's a good piece of 2-out hitting. And it's a tough break for Wynn. That was a really close pitch.
Agree.
On 2-2. So you have to throw another one. And this time, just got too much of the plate. You're going to rip down the left field line for an RBI double. So the Aces get 1 in the second, but the Giants answer with 1 here in the 4th, and we're back to square 1.
That's Simmons' first hit of the series, or second, I should say. Second hit of the series. And Jordan McArdle steps in, playing right field tonight. Flew out his first time up. Does have a home run in the series. And where else would we be in an Adelaide-Melbourne game? Tied at 1.
Nip and tuck in pretty much every game except for Friday night.
Yep. Wynn stepping off the rubber. Simmons goes back to second. And we'll get set again. 2 outs, 1-1 ball game. Swing and a miss. McArdle fouls that one back. Second strike, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And we'll do the ice cream scenario again.
Yeah, on every other day except for Sunday, it's free popcorn.
Correct.
But on Sunday, it's free ice cream for the final strikeout in an inning.
Breaking ball called, third strike. McCardle not happy at all. Does not like the call. Doesn't matter. That ends the inning. Free ice cream for everyone, but Adelaide do push a run across. We're going to head to the bottom of the fourth, tied at 1.
Oh, we've been there for every game of 4 and 25. When Meatloaf overcooked it and Gregan saved that try. When Brownie takes one for the team and Bradley skated by. This golden crusty pastry watched as Taylor kicked the sky. When Ben Simmons makes a 3, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be run without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates a 4 and 25. Oi!
There's an unseen thread woven into the fabric of all Australian homes. It's our way of life. Sun-kissed days, afternoon storms, and memories shared with those we love. It's messy, but you bet we make it work. In the end, it's the simple things that make an Australian home home. And what did the trick then still does the job now.
Hills, Australia's trusted clothesline since 1945.
Welcome back to the ballpark. That's Kendall Simmons driving in the tying run in the top of the fourth inning. Adelaide Giants and Melbourne Aces are tied at 1 apiece on a beautiful Sunday afternoon here at Melbourne Ballpark. That's right, make sure you get your sunscreen on if you're sitting in the sun. Jimmy Kerrigan, Jared Dale, Chris Burke for the Aces in this inning. And once again, it's all tied up between these two very good baseball teams. Kerrigan, big swing and a miss. Got his first hit as an ace in the second inning. Came around and scored as well.
Yeah, she's waving at you, Ed.
Thanks for coming out. That's hit into right field. That's going to get down for a hit. McCardle is in perfect position to limit it to 1, but 2-hit day for Jimmy Kerrigan.
Yeah, you knew that those hits would come.
Indeed.
Had the RBI and stolen base yesterday, but has his first 2 Aces hits here this afternoon.
Yeah, that's good stuff. There's Jared Dale now grounded out to short in his first at-bat in the second inning. Chance now for the Aces to get something going. Leadoff man on for the third inning in a row. Dale fouls that out of play. 2 quick strikes on the second baseman. And we got some action in the Aces bullpen.
Cam Gibbons up and warming.
There he is. The big man, the tall man. It's fouled away. Dale stays alive. Count remains 0-2.
The professor, the accountant, the lawyer.
Such a great look. So unassuming. Comes in and throws that smoke. Kerrigan on first. Dale at the plate. Pushes that into right field, but I think McCardle will get there. He lumbers over. Makes the play. 1 away.
In the same game, we have Rickson Wingrove, who looks like the definition of a ball player. We have the exact antithesis of that in Cam Gibbons.
That's true.
And
you're right.
Pretty good chance they face each other here in the next couple of innings.
Here's Chris Burke. Walked. Was thrown out at the plate in the second inning. A good throw from Briley Knight out in left field. Runner going. Burke fouls it away. Kerrigan doesn't have to retreat back to first. I will say, I get the sliding mitts, but they look ridiculous.
You don't like the look, huh?
Nah, I think they look absurd. It really looks like you've got an oven mitt on there and you're about to get a Sunday roast out of the oven. I just like everything about the baseball uniform in general. That mitt just looks silly to me. I'm not a fan.
I don't mind it. I think it looks cool, too, like tucked in the back pocket when you're at the plate.
I don't mind it tucked in the back pocket, but when you put it on, it just, I don't know, it looks like a cast. There he goes again, Kerrigan. Throw from Nava. Kerrigan's under it. Ball gets away from Spence anyway. And a stolen base for Jimmy Kerrigan. Oven mitt or not.
Yeah, that's something that you and I really haven't talked a whole lot about yet. And granted, Kerrigan hasn't been on base a whole lot until today, but he adds another dynamic to what the Aces can do on the base paths. And so we've seen him now go 2 for 2 in stolen base attempts. Had a stolen base in a big moment, game 2 of last night's doubleheader, and a stolen base here in the 4th inning.
Burke fouls that away. Count remains 1-2. So Kerrigan down to second. There's one out. Aces and Giants tied at 1. Swing and a miss. Burke goes down swinging. Second strikeout for Cameron Wynn. Brings up Mitch Edwards. 2 outs.
Outstanding back foot breaking ball. Tough for Burke to handle.
Yeah, tricky. And Mitch Edwards now steps in. He flew out to left his first time up. Foul off the end of the bat. Strike 1. Aces have left men on in every inning. So they've had runners on base. Managed to get 1 across, but if there were an expected runs statistic, which I don't know if there is, like there is in world football, you might say the Aces had that. That's hit sharply to Simmons, but an easy play for the second baseman. And once again, the Aces can't push that run across.
The answer to your question would be a formula called base runs, which Fangraphs has, but would be extremely difficult to track in a league like
I can
this.
imagine. We'll be back after this. We're headed to the top of the 5th inning. Aces and Giants tied at 1.
All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
In the 5th inning is brought to you by Crew Fitness and Performance with a more than vision. What drives the Crew team and its members is a dedication to community and an eagerness to be surrounded by a personal growth culture. Stop into their location in Braybrook or Hoppers Crossing to see for yourself. Crew Fitness and Performance, a proud sponsor of the Melbourne Aces. And as we come back to the ballpark, we do have a punt 1-2-3 pitching change. Cameron Gibbons will come on for the Aces in the top of the 5th, replacing Randy Wynn. And there is a look at Cameron Gibbons, big, tall pitcher with a very unique stance to get ready and get going. At his best, he is incredibly effective and hard to hit. Does have a few issues occasionally with finding the plate. But he'll step in here and face Anthony Kirion, Andrick Nava, and Briley Knight. That guy looks like he can step out and play right now.
I was going to say, that's a great jersey. Stitched and all.
Ed Wyatt, Michael Dixon with you. Top of the 5th, beautiful Sunday afternoon in Melbourne. Aces and Giants tied at 1. Here is Kirion playing first base tonight. You saw him behind the plate in previous games, and there is Cameron Gibbons about to throw. High and inside, ball 1.
I meant to tell you this, but Steve Kent just so happened to be listening right when we talked about what we talked about last night. And he said he had a bone to pick with us.
Oh, no. What was the bone? That he was.
He said somehow whenever you brought up stature of players, he knew that he was going to come up in that conversation. And he said, I'm just sitting there watching the game, and all of a sudden I get a drive-by on being an unassuming guy.
I think that would be praise, wouldn't it? He's praise. You look at him, and he's way better than. You know, you don't look at him automatically and go, this guy's a super dominating pitcher.
I told him we were tired of saying good things about him. So we had to find some bad things to say about him. Just kidding.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
But yeah, I meant to tell you that before the game, and I forgot.
We can't take a trip, can we?
No. We're not making many friends.
No, we're not. I don't know why. The Canadian fans in the first series. Good pitch from Gibbons. Kirion goes down swinging.
That's what you get from Cam Gibbons when he's on.
Indeed.
And I'll bet a point of emphasis for Peter Moylan and John Diebel after the issues with the walks yesterday. Try to keep put on the gas pedal, stay ahead. Execute what you want to execute. Go.
Andrick Nava stepping in now.
And we haven't seen a walk yet from an Aces pitcher. So very unusual box score line yesterday. 9 walks from Melbourne pitchers, none from Adelaide pitchers.
Did he go? No, he did not. Now you're going to run into Cameron Gibbons, and he's going to be, you're calling me, you're tall, and Professor, the accountant. He'll tune in and hear us say that. He'll be in trouble.
He'll probably shake our hand.
Fastball misses. Ball 2. 2-1. Fouled back. Good pitch. 2-2.
Had to like what you saw, though, from Randy Wynn today with 4 innings. Did give up the 1 run with 2 outs in the 4th, but
he didn't say anything to you about saying he had the best mustache in the ABL?
No, but I've heard he's the nicest guy. His wife and daughter have come out as well, so soaking up a month plus here in Australia.
So we might have one guy that likes us. 3 balls, 2 strikes on that pitch that was in the dirt. So full count here to Nava. Fouled back, stays alive.
I know you haven't met them, but I can tell you the Altmans are friends of the broadcast, so.
Good. Well, I think we've said good things about him. Been very praiseworthy of him. We'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Good pitch. Second straight strikeout.
Yeah, change speeds. That time Cam Gibbons elevates a fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts. And he just blows that right by Nava. And it's got to be nice for the Aces to see Nava with a couple of Ks next to his name after the damage he's done.
There it is, swing and a miss. Briley Knight now, the left fielder. That's a bit high, 1-1. Interesting to see him coaching first base the other night. Obviously, his dad, a well-respected baseball manager, coach, led Perth to 2 titles. Wonder he may have some designs on coaching at some point down the line. 2 balls and a strike on young Briley Knight. That is low, 3-1. Be pretty good life to run between Perth and Oregon. That's a couple of beautiful places to live. Not a bad lifestyle.
Perth did look pretty cool when I was watching some of the cricket a couple of weeks ago.
Outside corner, strike, good pitch, full count. Beautiful part of the world, Perth, really is. Get your fill of sunshine there, then go back to Oregon, get rained on. 6 months.
It's like Indonesia.
Here we go, payoff pitch. Good eye from Knight, a little bit low. He'll earn a 2-out walk. Head down to first base. There is the first walk of the night given up by Aces pitching.
Yeah, important to be careful here with the 2-out walk to the number 8 batter. You've got Fergus. And if Fergus can reach, all of a sudden you're going to face some tough hitters. Spence, Altman, Wingrove, top of the order for Adelaide. So in a 1-1 game, this feels like a big moment for Gibbons to navigate through.
Yep. That's hit sharply down the left field line. Foul. Way ahead of it.
Is Perth warm?
Yes. Very hot. It does get a bit cool and rainy, but it can get very, very hot. Reminds me a lot of San Diego. It's got that San Diego feel to it if you've ever been there. So on the water and long way away from other places. But very nice, very lovely place. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Just outside, well blocked by Edwards. 1-1.
When I first started researching Australia before I came out here, and there you go, Perth to Portland. 14,831 kilometers, apart. It's a lot of kilometers.
It's a long way.
Anyways, it's funny you say that because I saw a map of both countries, the U.S. and Australia.
Runner going, that's hit well. That is hit very well, and that is gone. Cade Fergus, who has had a very good series, puts that over the left field fence and gives Adelaide the lead. Wow.
Yeah, that one stings. Gibbons has been so good this year, but 2-out walk tonight gives Fergus a chance, and he makes no mistake with that blast way out to left field. The Giants celebrate. That's a big 2-run home run. And Adelaide in the driver's seat here in the 5th. Another look at it. Pitch elevated. Caught way too much to the plate, and there was nothing that Burt could do about it.
He just turned and looked. He's had a very good series, young Cade Fergus. 23-year-old in the Phillies system. Out of George Washington University in the District of Columbia.
Feels like it's one of those get-right series for Cade Fergus, who wasn't quite doing what he had hoped at the plate. And now he comes through with a 361-foot home run. And at this ballpark, the way the wind makes it tough on hitters, 361 feels like quite the poke, and there was no doubt about it off the bat of Fergus.
You look down that list of players, he'd probably be 7th or 8th who you'd think would hit that. You got the power hitters like Wingrove, McArdle, Nava. But he got all of that. And it's suddenly 3-1 Adelaide. in the top of the 5th inning.
Another look at it. He knew it. Tough for Gibbons, too. You come out firing with a couple of strikeouts in relief.
Yep.
And then a walk. And one mistake later, and it's 3-1.
And that sort of is what we talked about, isn't it? Just a few issues with control as Spence gets a walk and heads down to first.
Well, nobody up warming. Neither one of these teams really with a ton in the tank because of how much baseball we've seen over the last few days. So this game will be decided by some longer relief. And
yeah, this is one of those things, not to interrupt you, Michael, but with Gibbons, 2 quick strikes, you get the third out, you're moving on.
Yep.
He's got at least another inning in him, potentially. Now, this is a longer inning. He's throwing more pitches, puts them in a bit of a quandary. That's low ball, so 2-0 here to Altman. Probably do need to start looking to see who is potentially available to pitch for each of these teams.
looks like Christian James is getting up, scrambling quickly.
Throw back to first. Good idea. I'm just trying to look down the list of guys who can throw. You're right, there's not a ton of availability. That should be playable. Dale. And in-game Kerrigan looked a little bit surprised, but Dale makes the final out, but not before the 2-run home run from Cade Fergus gives Adelaide a 3-1 lead. We'll be back to see what the Aces can do about it in the bottom of the 5th here on Aces TV.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Welcome back to Melbourne Ballpark. That is Cade Fergus. And that is a 2-run home run. Actually, that's not. I take that back. That is Josh Altman hitting the final out of that last inning. We've got a punt 1-2-3 pitching change here in the bottom of the 5th inning for the Adelaide Giants. That is the Cade Fergus home run that's given them a 3-1 lead. Jason Lott, right-handed Australian, will come in. There he is. And this is your punt 1-2-3 pitching change as Lott prepares to take over here and face the top of the order. Zion Bannister, Aaron Whitefield, and Robbie Glendenning. So Jason Lott, 28-year-old from Canberra, pitched at South Alabama and Delta State. That's hit out to right field. McArdle started back, but then comes in and makes the first out of the inning, one away.
Delta State Fighting Okra.
Delta State, yeah.
Have a Delta State Fighting Okra hat.
Is that right?
Yep.
There is...
Just off the end of the bat for Zion.
It is amazing where baseball takes you, isn't it? Guy from Canberra pitches at South Alabama and Delta State. Here's Whitefield, 1 for 2.
And then after a guy from Belgium pitched at Frontier Community College at Gardner-Webb University, right?
Very good point. Showing bunt and a little chin music there from Lott. See what Whitefield does here. Now he's swinging away. Sky high. Should be playable for Kirion. He's in foul territory. Makes the play. 2 quick outs.
Well, you were hoping perhaps for an ignition from the top of the order after giving up the 2-run home run to Fergus, trailing 3-1, but a couple of very quick outs for Lott.
Yeah. Just what you want. What you want as a reliever, isn't it? 2 quickies. That one went a mile high. And here's Robbie Glendenning. 2 walks tonight. Looks at a strike there. 0-1. Grounder. Altman. No problem at all. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jason Lott. Pretty easy for the Adelaide Giants. We're through 5. Adelaide 3. Melbourne Aces 1. Back after this.
Aussie gardeners are best served by Aussie tools, built specifically for our unique environment and conditions. Back in the 1890s, Leonard Chambers and William Thompson started a beekeeping supply business in Melbourne. Little would they know that their company would go on to change how Australians garden for well over a century. Cyclone is ingrained into our country's history and our way of life. Our tools are long-lasting and purpose-built for hard work.
We've been making quality tools for over a century.
They last that long, you can hand them down to the next generation. Good, quality, honest product that the Australian people have grown to love.
It's not an Aussie shed without a Cyclone.
My biggest takeaway of being here for 34 years is just sense of pride in the product.
Australians buy good products. So if they keep on buying, we keep on making, so we're here.
Cyclone tools, made for Australians.
Light and Easy have been named Best Healthy Meal Delivery Service again, but you won't find us stopping to celebrate. We're busy making it easy for Aussies to achieve their well-being goals, and the results speak for themselves. Light and Easy, just good food and great results.
Welcome back to Melbourne Ballpark. Fans are happy. Ed Wyatt alongside Michael Dixon. Ace is still trailing, however, 3-1. And we do have another punt, 1-2-3 pitching change. We mentioned the Aces are going to have to dip into that bullpen, and that's Christian James coming off. We saw him the other night. Very dependable reliever out of the bullpen. There's a shot of the party deck. Having a nice long drink of a beautiful Brick Lane beer. Yes, we are live from Melbourne Ballpark in the western suburbs of Melbourne, Victoria. Thanks for listening, watching, tuning in wherever you are around the world, in Australia. A lot of families out here at the ballpark on a magnificent Sunday, New Year's Eve afternoon. Look at the Adelaide Giants dugout there. Chris Adamson pulling the strings, pulling the right strings, to be honest, most of the time. That's why he was manager of the year last year. Here we go. Tough three here. Wingrove, Simmons, McArdle. Don't want to make a mistake with any of those three guys. Wingrove 0 for 2 today, but has had a pretty good series. James, first pitch outside, ball one, also has a lot of power. Wingrove, I like how he's got the unbuttoned shirt there, got the red singlet underneath.
John Diebel with a yawn.
Come on, Deebs, get him a Red Bull. Good pitch, outside corner, strike one, 1-1.
Speaking of, this game is actually one of those that has a travel curfew.
Ah, yes.
And 3:50 is the time.
Right.
So
that's a good pitch.
If, decent chance we get to 3:50, but if you get to 3:50, that inning plus one more is what you can finish, because Adelaide does have to fly back.
Yep.
I think they have to catch a 7:15 flight.
Yeah, I remember those in the ABO. We've had them somewhere. Justin Huber running up going, I think it's one more inning. You have to kind of figure out on the run how many more innings you can get in. That's hit right back at James. He'll roll over and lob it to Craig Bird and Rickson Wingrove doing the old cricket bat touch there at the base. It's very funny.
Yeah, got him out in front of a breaking ball.
See if we can see that. He sticks his bat out like he's touching the cricket.
That's exactly what he's doing too,
he's
right?
In.
Yeah.
He's absolutely in. Here's Simmons, doubled his last time up. That's popped up. I don't know if it's playable. Bird is over. It lands just about as close as you can get. We'll see if that woman can figure out how to get that through. It's going to be very tricky.
Oh,
they dropped it. Maybe someone will throw it back up.
As you know, I was watching a lot of cricket last couple of months, and I really started to enjoy the sport. But that's one of the truly chaotic parts of the game that you don't really understand until someone explains it to you. And you've got fielders who are trying their absolute best. Simmons popped that. Somehow that didn't leave the field of play, and yet Bird couldn't make the catch around in the netting. You don't see that very often. But absolute chaos when you've got a fielder trying to throw the ball, but you don't realize where they're trying to throw it until someone explains that they're trying to hit the stumps.
Yeah.
And guys, full cricket gear, diving with their cricket bat.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's hit down the right field line. I think that's going to drift out of play. No. Bird is over. Did he get there?
Well, sure looks like it.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
It was
Great
out
catch.
of our view. What an effort from Craig Bird. Here we go.
Oh, look at that.
Catching the crowd. There's Bird. Yeah,
very well done. Wow, look at that. He even braced for impact with the railing. So
great work.
Yeah, very well done.
Continues to play really well in the field. So 2 down. Jordan McArdle now. He was 0 for 2. Strikeout. Looked at the strike. Wasn't happy about it. Gave the umpire a little bit of back chat in that 4th inning. Oh, Deebs again. Let's get him a Red Bull down there. Quick.
I'll give him one of these
cup of
zeros.
coffee, something. Come on, John. This is low.
You know, all the Australians I've met, very gracious people over here. You hear them say mate a lot, but I think John Diebel says mate more than any other Australian. Every other word is mate. I love it.
Good pitch.
I walked by him going towards the clubhouse today. But we exchanged 6 words, and 2 of them were mate.
Here's a 2-2 pitch, or I should say 1-2 pitch. Now it's 2-2.
I said, hey, John. He said, how are you, mate? I said, good. He said, good, mate.
There you go. Insightful discussion. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. That's outside, full count. Christian James trying to get out of this inning quickly. Top 6, Adelaide lead 3-1. Outside, McArdle earns a walk.
Well, it was a 2-out walk that kept the inning alive for Fergus in the 5th. He hit the 2-run home run. This time it keeps the 6th inning alive for Kirion. 0 for 2 in the game with a fly out and a strikeout. Can't really afford to fall much further behind than 3-1.
Nope. Here is Kirion. James misses outside, ball 1. Canadian Kirion, who played at Lamar in Texas. Again, that sort of baseball vagabond, traveling scenario. Go anywhere to play the game. That's hit sharply into left field. That's going to get down for a hit. So Kirion on first. McArdle moves over to second. And Andrick Nava at the plate, and we know he's got some power.
And James trying to put the cherry on top of what has been an excellent December. 7 appearances coming in, a 1 ERA, just 1 run allowed in 9 innings, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts in his 7 December outings before this one. That included a couple of scoreless innings Friday night in that 8-3 win for the Aces. But he does have some work to do here in the 6th. 2 on and 2 out. 2-out rally with a walk and a single. And here is Andrick Nava, who has been a pest in this series from both sides of the plate, too. But today, he's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts.
Inside, down low, blocked by Edwards. Nava did not go. Broadcast, of course, produced by Sportscast Australia. Do a great job every week for us. They're friendly folk as well, Michael.
They put up with us.
Exactly. That one's low and outside. 2 balls, no strikes on Nava.
Got a question from Walter Altman. Carol, his wife, Josh's mom, wants me to ask you, why is 2-2 with 2 outs in Australian baseball called a Richie? Do you know that?
I do know that, yep. That's a grounder to second, potential double play. No hit, very slow. Lee didn't need the double play anyway. What am I talking about? Easy 3rd out there. The Aces get out of trouble. Give up 1 run, couple men left on, but we'll move to the bottom of the 6th. Score is 3-1 in favor of Adelaide.
All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Welcome back to Melbourne Ballpark. Everyone have a pretty good time. Maybe not the Aces, they trail 3-1, but the crowd certainly is having a blast. Need to remind you, for the first time since 2017, Team Australia will play right here in Melbourne. Don't miss your chance to catch the country's biggest stars in the 2-game exhibition series against the Korean baseball organization's Hanwha Eagles right here at Melbourne Ballpark. For more information, of course, melbourneaces.com.au, 17th and 18th of February. That's Valentine's Day, isn't it? Get yourself a Valentine's Day? No.
No, it's the 14th.
14th. Good. You can tell I really celebrate it, don't you?
I can tell you've been married for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely right. Now, what was the question we had going into
why is 2-2
right.
2 outs of Richie?
Richie Beno, the famous cricket announcer, probably the most famous broadcaster of all time, used to say 2 for 222 in a very unique way. And so anytime it gets to 222 for 222 in cricket, so 2 wickets, 222 runs, that's sort of celebrated as Richie's. That hit very hard into center field from Greg Bird. But no problem out there for the home run hitter, Cade Fergus, 1 away. So that, the way he said it, and I'm not going to do an imitation of Richie Beno, but he was
2 for 222.
2 for 222.
That's a great story.
I probably didn't do it as much justice as a real Australian cricket lover would do, but yeah, that's essentially where it comes from. One of the nation's most beloved broadcasters in cricket, play-by-play, whatever you want to say, announcers. That's it. The third, Altman with an easy scoop, and tell you what, Jason Lott making easy work of this out here.
Well, the Aces aren't really making it tough on him.
No, they aren't.
Early swings.
That's true.
And that's 5 up, 5 down for the right-hander.
2 groundouts, 3 flyouts.
Tell with the swings, the Aces feel like they are seeing it well because they're swinging early and swinging often, but Lott has them on their toes just enough to keep the contact to a minimum in terms of
good pitch. He's not wasting a lot of pitches either.
2 for 222.
There you go. You have to look that up.
Yeah.
You put YouTube that later.
That was not the story I was expecting.
That's hit to right field. McArdle, no problem at all. 3 up, 3 down. Continues for Jason Lott. No runs, no hits, nobody left on here in the bottom of the 6th. We'll head to the top of 7. Michael Dixon will be with you when we come back.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
Well, back here at Melbourne Ballpark, we go to the 7th inning. Cyclone Toolshed right now filtering the kids who just made the run from the right field line to the left field line.
You gotta hydrate after the run on a sunny Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Normally it's at night.
Normally, yeah, it is.
Yeah. Cool.
It's been a packed Diamond Dash. Last few days. You know, you do a Thursday night against Brisbane, right? Thursday night. Really cold, not a lot of folks here because the weather was just miserable. There might have been 30 kids running from line to line. On Friday night, they just kept spilling out.
It looked like the New York Marathon.
It was unbelievable. Anyways, we're off to the 7th. And how about this? The regular season debut of Jack Inciando.
Yes, local kid.
We saw him pitch in the exhibition, but again, with both teams Just trying to get through the rest of this. Here we go. Here's a look.
There it is.
Wait. You gotta wait. You gotta wait.
Kid with a cape.
There's an Arsenal jersey. How about that?
Yeah, I saw that kid earlier, actually.
And there they go. They're off.
Saka on the back.
Now multiply that by about 30. That's what we had on Friday night. And it was chaos. Look at that one.
Jeez. Usain Bolt.
There's your champion. Good for him. Anyways, so we saw Enciando in the exhibition game against Team Victoria All-Stars way back. I mean, it feels like eons ago. That was in middle part of November. We have not seen him on the active roster yet until here this round 7 series against Adelaide with 5 games over 4 days. That's tough on anybody. You got to make the game up, but it is tough on anybody. And as a result, the teams were allotted a second or an extra roster spot, so 23 active players instead of 22. And so Enciando is number 23 for the Aces, and he's making his regular season debut.
6th season with the Aces all up. He's been here since 2017-2018 season. Career 4-5 record. Another guy who played in Texas, Hill College in Texas.
Hill College, off the top of my head, where is that?
I have no idea. I cannot help you on
Waxahachie, maybe? Here's the 1-1. And a curveball low. It's cool. It got to be cool, though, for guys like Jack Enciando to get a chance to pitch a setting like this.
Indeed.
Two-one. Hit high, but foul. This is his 30th career appearance with the Aces. Appeared in 6 games last year. Won a couple of Claxton Shields with Melbourne. Is that, as you mentioned, local kid role when you need somebody. You know that you got Jack Enciando. He'd be thrilled to step in, and he's done that here this weekend against Adelaide. And the 2-2. Flared, shallow right center, tough play, and it drops down for a hit. So Dale, check that, Knight with a leadoff single. Hill College is in Cleburne, Texas. I can't believe I didn't know that, because it's where I spent my first 2 years broadcasting.
What?
It is about 30 minutes south of Fort Worth, Texas.
Must be a pretty obscure school.
I think they were sponsored too.
Oh, jeez. Oh, dear.
There's so many small schools in Texas, though. It's ridiculous.
For sure.
First pitch fouled back by Fergus. Hill College. Cleburne, a town of about 20,000. Handful of railroaders, Cleburne railroaders, have come through the ABL. Here's the 0-1, and it's outside from Enciando, a team, a part of the American Association. A lot of players come through the ABL from the AA. Fergus with the decisive swing right now. 2-run home run in the 5th. There goes the runner, swing and a miss. Throw to second. Not in time. Well, Dale tried that quick tag on Briley Knight, but he's got the stolen base and a run of insurance into scoring position. 1-2 the count to Cade Fergus.
Throw was a little high. Good effort, but Knight was under it.
Liam Spence looming on deck. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss.
That's a big strikeout. I was just about to say this is a really important inning, with a young guy or relatively inexperienced guy like Enciando against this good Adelaide team. You don't want a big inning, and that's a huge strikeout right there.
Yeah, really pretty breaking ball. So 1 out, runner at second. And Spence with a ground out to second, but that does move Briley Knight to third. And with 2 outs, that brings up Josh Altman. So Altman stands in. He's 0 for 3. 3-1 our score in the top of the 7th inning.
Any more questions from Mrs. Altman for the Ask Ed segment? We can, next time Adelaide are in town, we can add that to the, we'll get a sponsor for that.
She said asking for a friend. When you get to be your age, how do you keep your hair looking good?
Wear a hat. Altman 0 for 3 tonight.
One-0 pitch. Fly ball into shallow right. Kerrigan coming in. Dale drifting over. He slides and he makes the catch.
Jeez, again.
The wind made that tricky. But a great catch made by Dale. And Jimmy Kerrigan, like a golf caddy, has to go back and repair the grass after he took some of it with him. That sliding catch to end the top of the 7th. Well done, Jared Dale. And we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Enciando works around a leadoff single in a scoreless top half. And the Knights lead by a pair here in Melbourne.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Oh, we've been there for every game, the 4 and 25. When Meatloaf overcooked it and Gregan saved that try. When Brownie takes one for the team and Bradley skated by. This golden crusty pastry watched as Taylor kicked the sky. When Ben Simmons makes a 3, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be right without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates are 4 and 25. Oi!
There's the attendance today, 1,374. To put the cherry on top of an outstanding New Year's weekend at Melbourne Ballpark and on this New Year's Eve Sunday. A getaway day for Adelaide. As they head back to Adelaide, we'll celebrate the New Year 30 minutes after we will.
Yes, they will.
Talked about how strange that is.
Yes, they will.
McGraw pitching for the second consecutive day. He was really important in game 1 yesterday. Got the win. 2 1/3 scoreless, 1 hit, no walks, 4 strikeouts. And for the Aces, trailing by 2, bottom 3 coming through, Dale, Burke, and Edwards. 3-1 our score. And Jared Dale steps in after making a fantastic sliding catch to end the 7th inning, and the first pitch, strike 1 on the outside corner.
Yeah, he and Kerrigan are going to have to get on the same page out there. It's 2 in a row.
Yeah. 0-1. Ripped foul.
That's a good crowd for a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
I shouldn't say good. That's a great crowd for a Sunday afternoon. Really impressive.
Like we heard, the gum tree had been annihilated in the very gracious words
annihilated
of our fearless leader, Justin Huber. Here's a look at some of the folks here today.
Oof.
And a called strike number 3. Dale down looking on a backdoor breaking ball. So McGraw starts with a strikeout, and that is quietly now 10 consecutive aces retired after the leadoff single from Kerrigan in the 4th.
McGraw's looked really sharp. Looked sharp the other night. Starts out here with a strikeout. Longtime member of the Melbourne Aces, Stan McGraw.
First pitch high to Burke. 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. Left-handed batter. McGraw had such a difficult time to start the year with Adelaide, but need one of those confidence-building outings, and he was excellent. And the first game yesterday. Big swing there from Burke. It's 2-1. 1 out. And the Aces trailing by 2 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. That is a towering foul ball.
McGraw, of course, you know, he's been around 7 seasons in the Red Sox organization, 9th ABL season here, 8, of course, with the Aces. So, you know, 29-year-old, but he has pitched in a lot of games, and there's somebody with the ball out there in right field.
Got that foul ball off the bat of Burke.
Yeah.
And again, you'll see on the back of his jersey, if you're watching from the USA, it's spelled McGrath. That's how we pronounce it, but here in Australia, it's McGraw. 2-2. Fouled back. Couple of World Baseball Classics for McGraw.
Yep.
Big swing and a miss, strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts for McGraw, and 11 consecutive aces retired. Lott 3 up, 3 down.
He was tremendous.
In 2 innings without a strikeout, but a couple of strikeouts here for McGraw. Here comes Mitch Edwards with 2 down, and the Aces in need of a spark. Now towards right center. And a 3rd consecutive 3 up, 3 down inning for Adelaide pitching. We go to the 8th, and Melbourne trailing 3-1.
Light and Easy have been named Best Healthy Meal Delivery Service again, but you won't find us stopping to celebrate. We're busy making it easy for Aussies to achieve their well-being goals, and the results speak for themselves. Light and Easy, just good food and great results.
Back here at Melbourne Ballpark, and one more chance to remind you before the series comes to an end. Take advantage of an Aces membership for the 2023-24 season. Select your seat for all Aces home games and enjoy perks like merchandise, car park passes, and more. Memberships for kids start as low as $20 for the year. For more information, visit melbourneaces.com.au/memberships. Evan Rutsky takes over in the 8th inning, and good work done by Enciando in his regular season debut. The Melbourne native with a scoreless 7th inning, 1 hit. Worked around that with a strikeout, a ground out, and a pop out. And we're off to the 8th inning. Adelaide trying to win 4 of 5 in this huge 5-game series, and the Aces hoping for a late rally to salvage the finale.
Yeah, I can't really emphasize enough how important that was for Menciando, thrown into this situation against the best team in the league, and getting that done. Really nice work from him in a high-pressure situation. And we'll see Wingrove, Simmons, and McArdle again, those three.
So Wingrove to start. Myself and Ed coming to you live from a broadcast booth while the Sportscast Australia crew puts all of it together. Rutsky gave up the run in the 10th inning yesterday. An unearned run against him because of the tiebreaker rule. No balls, 2 strikes to count.
That was a tough one yesterday, that extra inning game. Just a real...
Both of them.
Yeah,
the
well,
Aces,
yeah, true.
Yeah, both of them. The Aces, unfortunately, 0 for 4 in 1-run games, and just 1 and 7 in games decided by 2 runs or fewer. And we said yesterday in the post-game show, it's called strike number 3 on the outside corner. So Wingrove down looking. It's kind of a catch-22 when you talk about a number like that, because in one breath you say, well, they're 1 and 7 in close games. They're also above 500, which means the games they're winning, they're winning comfortably. And it's always a pretty good indicator that a team with a comfortably positive run differential is pretty good.
Yeah,
and the Aces have the 2nd best run differential in the league. In fact, these teams are the only 2 with a positive run differential.
It's the 2nd time that he's lost his bat in this series. Gonna have to get a little more grip on that. Kendall.
I'll make one amendment to that, actually. The Perth Heat now with +1 in the RD column. Here's the 0-1. Fouled off. No team in the league has allowed fewer runs than the Aces have. 84 coming in. The pitching staff's been great. And both pitching staffs have been good in this series, I think. When you talk about 2 teams that were very good on offense coming in, well, at least Adelaide had a good year. The Aces had been red hot. Even though Adelaide had a tough go last week at Perth, both pitching staffs had been very good. And you wondered, ground ball to third. Darryl George with a throw across, 2 outs here in the 8th inning. You wondered something might have to give at some point. And it's been the pitching staffs, I think, that have been the highlight for both sides in this series.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
In fact, both teams averaging basically right on 3 runs a game in the season set. Well, 2 outs, and McArdle stands in. 3-1, the Aces trail. Nobody on base here in the 8th inning.
A shot to the Adelaide dugout, I was going to say, geez, they're having a lot of fun, but they're leading the league. They're ahead. They've won 3 games in the series already. Of course they're having fun.
Pop foul. Well, kind of quietly, too, if the Aces can't rally, or even if they do. With Sydney coming to town next week, that's going to be an extremely desperate Sydney team. That sets up an interesting series.
That will be and the Aces would be looking at it as the series they need to win.
Yeah,
Not split, win.
Breaking ball at the belt.
And you can't focus on a sweep, but you certainly think this is one we can win.
Yep. You win, and you're pretty much in the playoffs at that point.
Yep.
1-2. And buried in the dirt. Sydney entered today 4 games back of Melbourne. But the Aces also swept the 4 games in Sydney 2 weeks ago. We have a final from that Brisbane-Sydney finale. Here's the 2-2.
Good.
Hold strike 3 at the knees. That's a beauty from Rutsky.
Great pitch.
3 up, 3 down in the 8th inning. And Brisbane 2, Sydney 1. And that's in the 10th inning. So big game there in Blacktown. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and the Aces with 6 outs left to play with, trailing by 2.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
There's an unseen thread woven into the fabric of all Australian homes. It's a way of life. Sun-kissed days, afternoon storms, and memories shared with those we love. It's messy, but you bet we make it work. In the end, it's the simple things that make an Australian home home. And what did the trick then still does the job now.
Hills, Australia's trusted clothesline since 1945.
Well, New Era Technology provides specialized IT solutions for your business with internet and voice communications, managed services, as well as secure cloud hosting for data and software. Trusted by the Aces, New Era has an extensive team of engineers and sales professionals who provide hands-on collaboration that is backed by deep industry training. New Era Tech, proud supporters of the Melbourne Aces. A new pitcher is a young righty in the development list, Kai Hampton. It's a 3-1 game, but both teams are
digging deep.
Yes, they are, because they have to. We saw Hampton pitch a couple of nights ago. Another reminder of Team Australia and Hanwha in that 2-game exhibition series right here at Melbourne Ballpark, the 17th and 18th of February.
Valentine's Day. I can't believe I said that, I'll be honest with you. How did I figure that was Valentine's Day? February 17th. I have no idea.
Not even close. I mean, 3 days, but.
Where did I pull that from? Anyway, it won't matter. I was trying to tie in some clever Valentine's Day gift segue, and it was just landed
Maybe a late
flat.
Valentine's Day, yeah.
It's terrible. Probably the worst segue ever. There are the standings at the moment.
Adelaide at the top, Brisbane right now leading Sydney 2-1 in the 10th inning.
And the Aces have dropped a bit down into that 4th spot.
It's now 3-1 Brisbane. So if the scores hold, Melbourne would enter next weekend series against Sydney right here at Melbourne Ballpark with a 4-game lead. Ground ball off the mound and up the middle. Spence is there.
Played it perfectly. He was positioned perfectly, Spence, for that.
Well, that is 13 straight retired by Adelaide pitching. McGraw was outstanding. Lott was very good. Wen did a good job. And Jansen fought through a couple of innings in a spot start. Gave up 1 run, but the Aces might come away from this game if they end up on the wrong end, saying they could have built that lead earlier in the game. And a ground ball outside of third. Whitefield 1 for 3 with an RBI single. And rips this. Foul.
Oh. another one of those little moments, isn't it? Just about a 1.5 foot foul. Hit hard in a great spot.
Third base umpire got a great look at it.
Whitefield's speed, he's definitely on second. No doubt about that. Oh. How did that not hit him?
It's behind him.
Yeah.
3-2. Foul back. Whitefield with 4 hits in this series. Picked up the RBI in that second inning, but here he's down on strikes. 2 outs. 14 straight retired now by Adelaide pitching. And here is Glendenning, 2 outs, nobody on. First pitch outside, ball 1. Glendenning with a couple of walks after he had gone a while without a walk. League leader now at 23. The count squares on at 1 ball, 1 strike.
Nice pitch from the youngster.
And this missed outside, 2-1. Greg Bird on deck. See if Glendenning can get Bird to the plate as the tying run in this 8th inning. Time is starting to be an issue for the Aces.
Yeah, a couple more chances, and we have documented their struggles in close games.
Two. Popped it up. Down the right field line. McCardle giving chase, but this is on top of the All-Star bar. There it is.
Is that a collection of
Is that what that
there?
is?
It sure looks like it, doesn't it? We need to get somebody up there and get those. Wow.
2-2. Out towards left center. Long run over. Fergus can't get there. Cuts it off on the warning track. Glendenning up to second. And he's got a stand-up double. Greg Bird steps to the plate now as the tying run.
Great work from Glendenning, fouling off a couple pitches, staying alive, hitting that in a great spot. Fergus has good speed. He's been really good in the outfield, but could not get to that one. And Glendenning, as you mentioned, lets Bird come up to the plate. We'll get a look at it here.
Boy, he's had a good series, hasn't he, Robbie Glendenning?
Sure has.
So Greg Bird now. Strike 1 called on the inside corner. Bird 1 for 3. Single a strikeout in the game. He can tie the game with 1 swing. He's got 7 home runs to lead the ABL. 29 RBIs. Rips this. Diving stop from Simmons. What a play. And the inning is over. Simmons saves a run on a rocket from Greg Bird, who can only toss his helmet aside. And one more look at perhaps the defensive play of the series. Simmons, full extension on the dive to keep that on the infield. Glendenning would have scored, but instead it's 3-1 as we go to the 9th.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
At New Blinds Australia, it's our great low prices that make the difference. In our end of summer Aloha clearance sale, save from 30% up to 50% off our range of blinds, shutters and awnings. New Blinds Australia, more value for you.
Well, happy New Year's Eve from Melbourne Ballpark. We go to the ninth inning and the Aces trail 3-1. What a play made by Simmons at second to keep this two-run game. Took a base hit away from Greg Bird, an RBI, almost certainly with Glendenning running. And a punt 1-2-3 pitching change. Here is Joey Steele. Evan Rutsky 3 up, 3 down with a couple of strikeouts in the eighth inning. And Steele takes over in the ninth, trying to get the Aces back to the plate down by 2. Steele is the fourth reliever for the Aces today. Gibbons gave up 2 runs in the fifth. The deciding swing right now is a 2-run homer from Fergus that came with those 2 outs in the fifth inning.
Looks like Van Steensel may be warming up for the in the bullpen, so they may bring him on.
He looks like he's out. Out cold.
Having a little bit of a snooze here in the sun.
Enciando pitched the 7th. Rutsky the 8th, and Steele in the 9th. Kirion Nava Knight, the schedule 3. 3-1 our score here in the 9th inning. First pitch fastball, strike number 1 from Joey Steele. Kirion is 1 for 3 with a fly out, a strikeout, a single in the game. 3 runs on 5 hits for Adelaide, 1 on 5 for Melbourne. One ball, 1 strike to count. Melbourne in the home half of the ninth, they'll have George Kerrigan-Dale. Hoping for some late inning magic here on New Year's Eve. And here's a high pop-up. Drifting foul. And well out of play. Run scoring in this game, the Aces with the 2-out RBI single from Aaron Whitefield at the bottom of the second. RBI double from Kendall Simmons with 2 down in the 4th, and then Cade Fergus, after Gibbons had struck out the first 2 in the 5th, followed up a Briley Knight walk with a 2-run home run, and that right now is the difference in this game. And Adelaide 3 outs away from taking 4 of the 5. But again, the games have been tight. And this would be a really fun playoff series if it were to happen in early February. 2-2. Just got a piece. He was out in front of a breaking ball.
Very, very dramatic games. Entertaining. Disappointing if you're an Aces fan. But highly entertaining if you're just tuning in as a neutral or a baseball lover. It's been really entertaining baseball. I guess if we were calling from a Giants perspective, we'd probably be over the moon.
This time he fights off a fastball. Yeah, Adelaide probably feel like they needed this after scuffling a little bit in the month of December. Obviously a really good team. The lineup's stout top to bottom. The rotation is good. The bullpen is good, but tough series in Perth last week. Haven't played all that well in the calendar month of December. There's a swing and a miss. And Joey Steele with another strikeout. So 1 out in the 9th. Here comes Andrick Nava. But there have also just been some big swings, not necessarily late for Adelaide, but in key moments. Fergus, the 2-run homer. We've seen Nava with a couple of big home runs in this series.
Yeah.
And when you got teams that are tight like these two are, two of the best in the ABL, could be the two best in the ABL. We'll have to wait and see as the rest of the year unfolds. But
yeah, that's right.
It comes down to those moments. And the Aces had plenty of them in the 8-3 win on Friday. But early traffic, while Randy Wynn in his debut was dealing to start, the Aces just couldn't add on to that early lead. Next thing you know, it's 1-1. And 1 inning later, Cade Fergus hits the 2-run homer.
Yeah, men left on in each of the first 4 innings.
There's strike 2 on the outside corner from Joey Steele.
We'll
He's
take
been really good this year.
We'll take that one. Yeah, he has been.
And a mile-high pop-up. Who's going to grab it? Looks like it's Jared Dale, and it is the second baseman. So, 2 outs, and the Aces quietly have now retired 8 consecutive Adelaide hitters since the Riley Knight single leading off the 7th inning. Another look. That was way up there in the air.
That was really high. Dale's been good under those. Not always easy in this bright sunshine.
Steele's ERA now sub-2. That's how good he's been this year. 2 down and nobody on base. And he's ahead of Knight, 0-1. Todd Van Steensel trying to pick up save number 3 in this series.
Yep. Nice to have a guy like that sitting there, isn't it? Oof, that's a nasty pitch.
Really good breaking ball at the top of the zone there from Steele. Oh, and 2. Tapper foul. Again, the only outing that Joey Steele has allowed runs in was the night on November 30th when he gave up the grand slam against Brisbane. He has not allowed a run at any other point this season than on that one swing. 2 strikes, 2 outs. And a ground ball to second. Nice backhand pick by Dale. And he throws to first. 3 up, 3 down for Steele in the 9th. Let's see if the Aces can put together a 9th inning rally. 3 outs left to play with. And 2 runs necessary. 3-1 Adelaide.
Light and Easy have been named Best Healthy Meal Delivery Service again, but you won't find us stopping to celebrate. We're busy making it easy for Aussies to achieve their well-being goals, and the results speak for themselves. Light and Easy, just good food and great results.
Well, trying to get the folks to rally. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning, 3-1 our score. Good crowd on this New Year's Eve Sunday afternoon. And the Aces trail 3-1. Todd Van Steensel takes over for Adelaide with a punt 1-2-3 pitching change. And Steensel on for Hampton. And Hampton, one scoreless inning, one hit, no walks, one strikeout. Couldn't tell the results of the game based on all the shots we're seeing right now. Everyone's having a good time here in Altona. The 3 outs left for the Aces to play with, and a tough pitcher to try and rally against Todd Van Steensel, who has a chance to pick up his 3rd save of this series and move into a tie with Carter Hope atop the league lead. 7. He's got 6 saves coming in. 0-1 with a 2.53 ERA. And he's 6 for 6 on save opportunities this season. 10 2/3, 12 hits. 4 runs. He's given up 3 earned, 4 walks, 10 strikeouts. And it starts with Darryl George.
Well, you know what? He's one of the best, but he's also not invincible to get this thing started.
And he did give up a run on Thursday.
Yeah.
I thought he gave up some pretty quality contact yesterday. But again, that's one of the things that makes Van Steensel so good. Even when you feel like you have a chance against him, he does a great job of keeping you at bay. Here is the 1-0. Low and outside, 2 balls, no strikes. The Aces do need a base runner.
Yep, need to be patient.
And now it's 3-0. I guess I wonder, too, a little bit about how much Van Steensel would have in the tank pitching for the 3rd time in 4 days. I know it's a 5-game series, and he's pitched every other game, but we saw him Thursday, we saw him yesterday, and we see him again on this Sunday afternoon. 3-0 pitch, and called a strike. Darryl is 0 for 3 in this game. Van Steensel with that iconic point of the elbow. The 3-1. Right down the middle. Strike 2.
Comes back with 2. Right down the middle. Here we go. Big pitch. 3-2.
That's well struck, right field. McCardle, that's not McCardle. They've made a defensive switch. So right fielder makes the catch. Looks like Liam Spence out there in right. Josh Altman now at short. And Ward comes in to play 3rd. So
smart move from Chris Adamson.
Defensive-minded sub.
Yep. Shouldn't have crossed that. They did that the other night. Got that better fielder in for McCardle in the outfield.
Well, the Aces down to their final 2 outs. Just a little bit low to Jimmy Kerrigan, who's had a nice afternoon. Silver lining for sure.
Yep.
If the Aces can't rally.
A couple of hits and a stolen base. Scored a run.
Ripped into left field. That's down for a base hit. Well, Jimmy Kerrigan gives the Aces the base runner they need So now Jared Dale steps to the plate as the tying run, 3-1, here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Third hit for Kerrigan.
Yeah, super. Great stuff from him. As you said earlier, Michael, we knew it was going to come.
It's a good piece of hitting, too. Not a bad pitch from Van Steen till he goes down to get it off the end of the bat. And Jimmy Kerrigan aboard. Jared Dale stands in. First pitch low and outside. Those aren't pants, they're shorts. Here's the 1-0. Fly ball, shallow right. Spence coming in near the line, still going. Makes the catch. And it comes down to this, Chris Burke. Fastball right down the middle. Not a bad pitch to hit for Jared Dale, but just a little late with that swing, and comes down to this. Frustrating afternoon for Dale, who's had such a good series. Foul tip from Burke. 0 for 2 with a walk, 2 strikeouts in the game. Adelaide up by 2.
We have finally dissected that look on Van Steensel. It is shorts with sort of the longer tights under it, and then stockings over the top of the red tights and the gold shoes.
0-1. Outside to Burke. If this score holds, be very frustrating for the Aces to drop 3 consecutive games in which they've allowed a total of 14 hits. That's it. Only 5 hits allowed today.
Yeah.
And they've once again out-hit the Giants 6-5.
Good on.
Count leverage for Burke, 2-1. Edwards next. Kerrigan at first. The Aces needed a base runner in this 9th inning, and they've gotten exactly that to bring the tying run to the plate. Swing and a miss, and now Melbourne down to its final strike. And Steensel is set. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Van Steensel with 3 saves in the series. A tight series from start to finish, but a frustrating weekend. The Aces end up losing 4 of 5 to the Adelaide Giants, and now Melbourne 4 games off the lead in the ABL. Again, still pretty comfortable advantage for Melbourne on that 5th spot. So looking at the playoff race, the Aces are comfortably in it, but we were hoping perhaps to put some real pressure on the teams at the top, and instead we see these teams go in different directions. We knew one team was going to have to win the series. Unfortunately, though, it's Adelaide 4 games to 1.
Yeah, and you look at those other teams now, and you're in a battle with. You'd hope to get a little separation there, which you now do not have, and you'll be sort of chasing Brisbane and Perth in a way. So, as you mentioned, we still got 3 series to go. So there is definitely an opportunity to make a move. But, yeah, disappointing on the 3-1 or the 4-1 situation as we see Adelaide celebration, guy hitting the gritty down there. It's, it'll be a fun flight back to Adelaide. Even though you're going back in time, right?
Especially with big New Year's Eve looming, I'm sure everyone's going to celebrate accordingly.
Yeah.
Well, Adelaide with a 3-1 win in the finale. Can't say enough about the support for the Aces with over 5,000 coming through the turnstiles for this 5-game series, and a chance to look back perhaps at today's highlights. We'll wait and see. Anyways, the support was fantastic.
Absolutely right. Fans have been phenomenal. Just the sheer number of people coming out to see them. A 5-game series spread across 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Weather cooperated and was beautiful. I was talking to Mick Wern. He's doing his work out there with Ace rolling around on the grass. One of my favorite parts to go to the ballpark is watching him. But Mick didn't have to do a lot because the weather's been so good. Didn't have to worry about it. You see the Adelaide players over there talking to some of their fans and friends. And indeed, Happy New Year from the Aces to everyone out there, wherever you are watching this.
Well, here are the highlights. And Randy Wynn was really good. Had some help from Darryl George on that great sliding play. Go to the now second inning with that single from Jimmy Kerrigan, the leadoff single, first of 3 hits for him. Wynn then gives up this RBI double to tie the game in the 4th inning. And that made it 1-1. Actually, that was the double that set it up, and then Simmons came through with the RBI double down the left field line. That tied the game at 1. You felt like Melbourne should have had a bigger lead at that point.
Absolutely. Yep.
Here's another hit from Kerrigan. And again, silver linings, you're always looking for those in a long season. Jimmy Kerrigan with 3 hits. Stole second. He's been good on the base paths already with a couple of stolen bases and 2 tries. But really good pitching from the Adelaide bullpen. Cam Wynn was excellent. This, the deciding swing of the game, the 2-run home run hit by Cade Fergus, the number 9 man, after a 2-out walk. The 2-run home run, Adelaide took a 3-1 lead, and Fergus with a big swing in that 5th inning. I thought the Melbourne bullpen was pretty good too. A mistake from Gibbons, his catch from, or that was the ball that somehow, some way stayed out of Greg Bird's glove, but they end up finding that ball. How about that kid? Given a toss, 1,374 in attendance for today's game. Evan Rutsky was good, 3 up, 3 down in his 8th inning. So good. Adelaide batters were losing their bats. Robbie Glendening had a good series. That was a smooth swing. Couple of walks. Good to see him walk again today. And he's got the double. That gave the Aces a little bit of life in the 8th inning, but couldn't cash in. Joey Steele was clean in the 9th inning, as he has been for just about the entire year. 3 up, 3 down. Another strikeout for him. And the Giants, with a 3-1 lead entering the bottom of the 9th inning, they called on Todd Van Steensel. Again, Steele just looks so good. The stuff he has is outstanding. But Van Steensel has been locked down for so many years in this league. And even though he gave up a single to Kerrigan to bring the tying run to the plate, Van Steensel gets through it. 3 saves in the series. And the Giants win by a final score of 3-1. Do you have any parting thoughts, Ed?
Well, I would say what you sort of said about looking on the bright side of it, right? Adelaide, the defending champions, they're the best team in the league. We've watched them in 5 games. Very impressive hitting, pitching, fielding, camaraderie. You've got Chris Adamson seemingly pulling all the right strings in terms of playing right players and setting fields and things like that. So, you know, the Aces can compete with them. They were not blown out. All of these games were very, very close, very tight. You see these guys again in the playoffs, potentially it's a different story. So could things have been better? Absolutely. Could things have been worse? Certainly they could have been worse because the Aces were in every one of these games. So I think there are a lot of positives to take. We come back next week, we do it again. You win 3, maybe you get a sweep, and you're right back in this thing.
Well, we got the totals quickly for you. For Adelaide, 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors, 5 left. The Giants 18-10. Melbourne 1 run, 6 hits, no errors, 7 left. The Aces fall to 14-14. Cam Wynn gets the win, his second of the season. Cam Gibbons takes the loss. He falls to 0-1. Todd Van Steensel with 3 saves in the series, and he picks up his 7th of the year to tie Carter Hope for the league lead. Played at 2 hours and 34 minutes in front of 1,374 here at Melbourne Ballpark. For Ed Wyatt, the rest of our fantastic Sportscast Australia crew, My name is Michael Dixon saying so long from Melbourne Ballpark. The Giants take 4 of 5. We wish you the very best of New Year's as we put 2023 behind us and usher in 2024 here in about 8 or so hours. The Aces back at home next weekend. The Sydney Blue Sox in town. That'll be a huge series for Sydney. Big series for Melbourne too, but a very, very big series for Sydney. We hope you'll join us. Until Thursday night, have a fantastic start to 2024.
This broadcast is powered by Sportscast Australia.